What's up, everybody? It's John Z with Tales from the Flipside. I have no idea what episode, and the CEO is out of the house, and we locked Nico out, so we're here to have some fun tonight, get a little wild. We got Dinesh in the house. We're going to talk some fun stuff with him, see what he's picked up, and see what other bad ideas he's got brewing. So enjoy.
It's a good ass intro.
Well, thank you.
It's a fun new intro.
I didn't do it myself.
It's been going for about a month now.
I think it needs like 2 more seconds. Just 2 more seconds.
Yeah, it is kind of quick.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
All right,
and that's the show.
That's it. We're going home. So welcome everyone. Tonight we got the Mercenaut with us. I'm sure he's got some fantastic pickups to share. Paul's Problems has graced us with his presence today until he gets confused and has to go. We got Leg, and of course we mentioned earlier we got Dinesh here in the house, and we look forward to talking to him because always a fantastic guest, great things to share, fantastic original art collection that just makes me jealous. It's like my childhood in a couple of images. So I kind of want to start the night out. Hopefully, y'all caught it. The Boys trailer dropped today. What'd you guys think?
Good stuff.
I
man.
have not seen it.
I'm excited.
I can't help you guys. I happily listen to
There's
Sorry, Sean.
I put a link in the chat that we're in right here.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
You can kind of review. Yeah, it's definitely going with the craziness of Homelander still.
I mean, he definitely is. They are milking kind of that angle that they were leaving with, where he was, the last scene of last season, where he was taking care of some business on top of the building. It feels as if though he is still broken. A lot of the trailer focuses on that. Focuses on Billy being a little bit crazy and potentially getting some powers on his own. I mean, it looks like they're turning up the wild a little more.
I haven't watched it, but I'm sure it's very edgelordy.
What's that term?
That's a new one for me too.
You never heard the term edgelord?
No, I'd love to know what that is.
It's just
Is that CB Radio Talk?
No, it's just being shocking for the sake of it.
It's like gamer talk, right? Edgelord, it's gamer talk.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
All right.
It is very graphic. I just watched it at 1.5 times speed, no sound, and a lot of people blew up. A lot of people exploded.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have they set a number of seasons, or is it a surprise?
I don't
know
think.
I mean, I don't think this is the end. I know they have. So they've got the spin-off show will be coming. The animated also. I only saw some of the first episode, but there's the animated on. Is it Amazon or is it on HBO?
Yeah, Amazon.
It's Amazon, right? Yeah. So
That's a good show.
Basically, it's on the same one as the regular show. So the animated, looks pretty entertaining. It's sort of like, I don't know, it's not exactly the same, but how they did Trailer Park Boys animated, you can just sort of do similar dumb stuff with animation, because obviously anybody who would watch it like this probably has sort of a drier, dumber sense of humor. Not dumber, but a very dry sense of humor. You don't mind watching people blow up, things like that. Debut of Soldier Boy in there.
I look forward to that. I mean,
yeah.
I'm a Supernatural fan, so it's just like give me more.
Yeah. Why is that dude in it?
Yeah, that's Jensen Ackles.
My bad.
Seriously?
Yeah,
dude.
What's wrong with you,
You're hurting me, Sean? You're hurting me.
Dude, I tried.
Z and I are going to do our review of Supernatural from season 1, episode 1, starting soon. It's going to be a sub channel here.
Are you serious? This is a real thing with you guys?
No, but they give me grief about being a fan. I've talked about it too many times, so they're too proud, I guess.
I watched it. My wife and I watched a few seasons. I think we stopped at 9-ish, maybe 10.
How many are there?
Good Lord.
Like 15.
170.
Yeah, I mean that show went on for days.
Do you know what I know
I
about?
thought it was still on.
What I know about Supernatural is that the actor was the teacher on Smallville who was hooking up with Lana Lang, and that's it. That's all I know about Supernatural.
They gotta,
I'm guessing
they're not
that's
done
very
though.
relevant.
They're doing the Winchesters.
Oh yeah, they just keep going. And then
Why
the
not?
the Angel guy got voice job of Harvey Dent on some new animated show. I didn't catch what it was yet. So they live
Yeah,
on.
somebody a long time ago told me I'd like it because of I like the horror stuff and werewolf things and whatever weird stuff. And I started watching it and I realized that it's a single serving TV show. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it is.
I like stuff that sort of, I mean, characterization continues, but I like stuff that continues.
I like how we got.
This gets
we've now
solved in
spent 5 minutes on.
minutes. It's like I don't really watch CSI anymore. There's just better television out there. So same here. The same thing with the Constantine was that way, and I didn't think it was going to be. And what's the one that changed over to Netflix? The with the guy from Sandman, Lucifer. Yeah,
Oh.
same thing with that. It's mostly the single serving stuff. So
Did you like
You
X
like a nice,
Files?
good story.
I loved X Files, but also I don't know. I mean that ended when I was younger. Also,
Yeah,
I definitely like
Supernatural,
X-Files.
like X Files. Should I be watching Supernatural? Sounds
Ask
No,
John
I don't-
C.
dude, I doubt. I doubt it.
No, it's.
I don't know.
It's a Monster Hunters with a story going throughout. I mean, it is what it is. It kept the CW afloat for however long it's been.
Yeah.
Been their linchpin.
Is there a spin-off? Is there a spin-off that lasted one season and failed horribly, like many other popular shows?
I think they tried to kick it off a few times. It never got past a backdoor pilot, and then what are you gonna do?
Because that's my jam. My favorite thing is to miss a culturally relevant show, but then watch the one season of the spin-off that everyone hates. I don't know why. I really enjoy that.
What's your
Train
favorite?
wrecks. Joey.
Oh
Joey
God!
show. That's my favorite. I've seen the entire season like 3 times. I don't know why.
Oh God!
What about the
So bad.
Ropers?
What's the Ropers?
It's the spinoff of Three's Company.
What? I didn't know there was a spin-off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Who's in
yeah.
it? Who'd they spin off?
The landlords, the
What?
landlord couple. Yeah, they spun
Really?
it off, but I don't think it definitely didn't last. It came and went like that.
Sean,
I'm gonna
what
have to
about
check it
the one for Golden Girls? Did you
Did
ever
they
hear
have
of
a
that?
Golden Girls?
spin-off?
They're like
Yeah, there
the,
was
the,
something.
the apartment building or the hotel, I think, after the fact.
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to rent. I don't want.
Yeah,
don't
I mean, it was
maybe
definitely
remember
there. It
that.
didn't run long.
did not run long. After one of the ladies left.
I think
Is that the
they
one
tried to
Clooney's
do
in?
a spin-off into like
Maybe.
Empty Nest or something. One of those shows with an
Empty
old
Nest is a
dude.
terrible name.
I think
for a
he.
show.
I think he banged Blanche like the rest of America. You know she'd do some dirty stuff, dude.
How did we get
But,
from Homelander to banging Blanche?
Homelander would bang Blanche.
He might.
He would.
might.
You know,
The,
I
the
don't know.
cow
I think
scene
he
in there
actually
was
has
very
skin.
disturbing. Just by
Yeah,
the way,
that was Blanche.
the whole milking thing is a little out there. It's a lot of fun though.
So, Sean, I know you've probably spent the most time in the comics. Like, how do you think there's a progression of how far along they are, or have they just
Honestly,
gone completely
I think-
sideways?
Well, what's the first appearance of G-Wiz? Is like 23 or something. So that might be sort of how far. It might be sort of something like that. Is it 23, 32? I forget. I just sold one. I should know.
So we're in the middle.
The one with the animal house. Yeah, something like that. So somewhere towards the middle. But the G-Wiz crew is supposed to get a spin-off too. So
Oh, yeah.
But doesn't
there's that. But
Butcher
yeah, they're expanding the universe.
doesn't Butcher get powers pretty early on in the books?
I'm not sure. So he gets
Can't
it this
remember.
season. He
But I
gets
feel
it this season, but they say in that
Yeah.
thing that it gives you it turns you into a soup, whatever the vial is, you shoot it up and it's and it says they said 24 hours in the trailer, but also showed like a handful of them. So I doubt it's just gonna take place in one day, even though we'll see. So I'm not sure with I think it was early, but yeah, it's definitely not just straight ahead. they're using the same characters and the same people from the 7 and stuff like that. But yeah, like there wasn't much lamplighter on the TV shows, things like that. So yeah, so we'll see. It looks good. I'm just excited over it. Like Homelander's like my favorite character on television, just because he's so ridiculous and like the biggest, sneakiest asshole around. So, which cares?
Yeah, that actor's great.
One. Yeah, and you know what? It took me a while to realize because I hadn't seen the show in so long. But you guys ever see Banshee?
Yeah.
It was on Showtime, like probably 10 years ago. I didn't realize it was Homelander for like the first season.
That same guy?
I can't tell where he's from, and I finally looked it up. It's the fucking guy from Banshee. Yeah, he looked just younger, he he probably is obviously bulked up for this role because he was like, he's in really good shape, but he was thinner, and also we get, I think we all get older, those things happen, so. Yeah, but it's the guy from Banshee. Banshee's worth watching if anybody is out there.
That was a good show.
There's messed up themes in it, violent, sex, all that. So
he always looked like he had like dip at his bottom lip. It's just kind of like that.
Yeah, he might be a scar. He might have had a kid injury or something with that thing. I'm thinking because it is that's the one thing I have noticed that also.
Dip. I love that. That's where you went.
Yeah.
So,
this is the best TV show podcast I've ever done, by the way. I didn't know you guys were doing a TV show.
How many of these seasons can you get in sealed VHS anymore? Anybody know?
Dude, I don't
you
know.
can probably get some of the Supernatural. It's early enough.
Definitely Joey. Joey's available for sealed VHS.
We're going to have Nico find it and send it to you. Oh, jeez.
By the way, is Joey actually called Joey? Am I just calling it that?
No, I think it was.
ENIAC will make a cool show. It will.
I like it. So, I mean, since the audience is bringing up, tell us what you got going on. What kind of donuts you got coming? What's your story?
Bad idea is over. We no longer publish comic books. We now make donuts. The perfect donut. No, we did this thing. We launched Bad Idea last year in April, pushed it a year because the pandemic, launched it. Very happy with the results. Went out with a win, like Tom Brady. Retired. He came back though, right?
Yeah, he unretired.
So not like Tom Brady. Like
there's still time.
And did anyone ever retire at the top and stay retired? Not Jay-Z.
Not too sure.
I don't know. Like someone who did that. And then, but we were bored, so we started perfecting a donut. So we came up with the perfect donut. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm telling you what the donut is. We went to South Carolina Comic Con, and we sold Krispy Kreme donuts from next door for $20 a pop, and we included a free comic book. And I had people literally begging me. We did one per customer to buy more because they thought it was the tastiest donut they'd ever had. They legitimately were like, "This is
amazing, dude.
This is the perfect donut." And I wanted to be like, "Are you an idiot? I can see the Krispy Kreme from here. There's like 35 Krispy Kremes in your town. You all clearly know what it tastes like. Also, it looks like a Krispy Kreme. Our guy just walked in with a bag of Krispy Kreme because we ran out. It was crazy."
It's a very nice box.
You gotta have some people that turn down the donut, though, right?
No,
they'll be like, "Yeah, just give me the comic book."
No, we had nobody. We brought about 300 or 400. I can't remember exactly how many. We thought that would last us more than the 2 days of the show. We saw it in 4 hours, and there was a ton of people that just literally came by and they were like, "I hear these are the tastiest donuts," and they would open it up and be like, "Oh, I don't need this comic book. Here's this donut." It was the other way around.
Krispy Kremes are great. I mean,
so they used So did they use the comic as a napkin?
Well, we used the comic as a plate. So you'd get the box. It was a very nice box, and you'd open the box up, and there'd be a comic in a poly bag, and the donut, sticky donut on top. I tried to convince my crew to let me put the donuts on the comic without a poly bag, because I talked to CGC, and it turns out that would count as a printer defect, and so if they were all sticky, you could still get a 9.8. My guys
That's
are like,
funny.
"You're an idiot. Don't do
You
that."
just love testing the edges of CGC, don't you?
Yeah, dude.
I think CGC's great. I love them.
Well, you gotta, if they've got if they've got guidelines and things that they do, it's good to know where those limits are, you know.
And they honestly, I think they do a really good job. So I love putting a spotlight on them. I
Yeah,
don't love
absolutely.
their competitors. I don't think they do as good a job. So it's all with love.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have fun with it too, you know. And if they're not doing anything to violate what they're doing, then it's fun to see what can work, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
printer like
Would they
like
Blue
somehow
Label
printer
or
like donuts
donut
just fell into
qualify?
the printer like.
Right.
No, anything, I guess anything that happened across the entire run prior to consumer sale counts as kind of a production error.
Wow.
So I wanted to see if
That's some
a
dangerous
donut
information.
smudge across the whole thing would be a production error. I'm going to use it somewhere. Don't worry.
But if they didn't,
Yeah.
definitely.
if the donut's gone though, then it's qualified.
That's the thing. What would they do? It would be a horrible day at the CC offices where they were like, bad idea. Done it again. We got to figure this shit out. But it was fun. I got to see people buy the donuts, eat the donut, and look at the comic, and then like some retailer would come by and be like, "Hey, I'll give you $50 for that comic book," and they'd be like, "No, what is this thing? I don't know what this is." They would come by and ask us, and I'd be like, "It's about a beaver, a cartoon beaver that rubs bangs." I'm like, what? Why?
Did you notice what the aftermarket sales were on the book?
I heard a little bit about it. I think it's like $100 or something.
I saw some. I was looking around. I saw a few semi-recent around $100.
That's
So,
pretty good. I mean,
what CGC would have been more annoyed with is if people start sending donuts in with the box.
that would be great. You think they'd grade a donut? Just a donut?
God,
I don't know.
probably the poor guy unboxing it would take it as a snack.
He was the best part of the whole thing. So Robert Venditti, the writer of the comic book, was so excited. He brought frosting, and you could take your donut to him at the show, and he would frost his signature onto the donut. There's people out there with a signed donut.
That's pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Is there a way to preserve food like that? There has to be. Would there probably be like some chemical,
Yeah.
like clear hardening
Yeah.
spray or something like that?
You ever seen like the epoxy squares, donuts or hot dogs and stuff in?
No,
It's like a
really?
resin. Yeah, it's like a resin. So it's like a brick. It's a clear brick in your food or whatever's inside.
So
Really?
like Jurassic Park and the mosquito.
Kind of.
We should
find
do
a
that.
picture.
Bad idea. We should sell resin frozen.
I'm full of bad ideas. You guys hiring?
I know. I gotta hear you more often. We're always. Well, yes, we are. I didn't hear you. Yes, we are hiring. We should-
Yeah. Am I quiet? Do I need to move this closer?
No,
yeah, if
you're
you
just
just-
breaking up a little bit. At least for me.
Oh, sorry. If you
Paul's
Google,
got more bad ideas than anybody I've
If
ever
you-
met in my life.
oh yeah,
So,
I'm surprised.
he's,
I'm so
he's
loud.
completely qualified. Go back to the
If
Paul
you-
Problems
I-
episode.
yeah. Right? I'll have to bring my notebook. It'll be like it'll be like Elf. But I'll leave my notebook behind and it'll be like shit. If you Google epoxy
Yeah.
resin hot dog Z, it'll pull up all the pictures you want. There's,
I don't think that's a
burgers.
wise thing to Google. Just
I'm on it right now. The
just
images
tell
are
the
great.
audience don't
Oh
Google it.
my
Dude,
god!
Paul
This
doesn't
is
call
amazing.
dildos.
Yeah, see, Dinesh is in it.
What are you doing?
This looks like. I see. I'm gonna make it art now. Damien Hirst did the shark, frozen at the moment of death. You know this? It's one of the most
Mm-mm.
famous works of modern art. This looks like that.
Yeah, there you go. Do that with your donut.
Except
And
the hot
whatever-
dog.
Whatever condiment or whatever you want next. The
I'm
first
emailing
one's
this
free though,
bad
Dinesh.
idea,
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Hey,
My
now,
first
you
bad
mentioned-
idea is free.
You mentioned that
Paul
you
just
weren't
wants a
necessarily.
donut if you do them.
Hold on, you mentioned that you weren't necessarily a fan of other grading companies. No, why is that?
Man, you're gonna call me out on this.
Hmm.
It's my fault. You're right. Well, PGX. Come on. No one's a fan of PGX.
Well,
That
here's
one's
the
easy.
about PGX.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
count.
actually wrote an Instagram post saying
Yeah.
like every time I see PGX, I think roaches are going to crawl out if you crack the slab. So I get that. I get
PGX
that.
easy. CBCS. I didn't have a great experience. They came to us at Valiant when I was running Valiant, and they wanted us to do a bunch of ads, which I was happy to do, help out. Great for competition. Great for there to be competition. But I wanted to make sure that it was a good product. So agreed to the ads, said give us a couple months to figure it out, came back to the same show, it was at a show later, and submitted a book. And I didn't have a great experience. I submitted an Amazing Spider-Man 300 that I bought at that show, and it had a Todd McFarlane and a David Michelinie signature on the first page of the book.
Yeah.
It's like older 80s signature.
Mm-hmm.
And CBCS did that. I think they still do verified signature program, and you can get a scan of the signature in case it's on the inside. So I went to them and I said, here's a book, verified signature, please grade it, give me a scan. It was like $90. It was kind of expensive, but okay. And then it took months and months and months. Never got the book, kept calling. They were like, oh, we're getting to it. I think after about a year, they finally were like, and they said, look, we had some problems with the plastic, etc. But they never really were forthcoming with information. I always had to call and find out. Finally, they were like, yes, the book's been shipped to you, and we're so sorry about the delay. We've added a coupon to your order for your next purchase. And I thought, okay, cool. It'll be like a free grade or something, like a free book to get graded. And I got the box, and I opened it up, and there was my book graded, and they'd forgotten to scan the first page, which was annoying. And I got the coupon. I shouldn't be telling the story. The coupon is, they're going to email me. They're going to call me.
Don't worry. They're
Come
probably.
on, you gotta finish it, dude. It's fine. Come on.
The coupon was for 89 cents.
Oh.
And I called them, and I was like, listen, man, I never told them who I was or I run a company, nothing. I didn't want to do that. So I called them and I was like, hey, have I been calling too much? Like, have I been annoying? And they go, why? No, your book seems to right. I go, yeah, but I got this coupon for 89 cents. And they go, yeah. And I go, well, I feel like someone's upset, and they're basically saying, can I swear?
You can swear all you want.
Basically, we're like, fuck you. What do you? And I was like, I don't get it. They go, no. It's a formula. I was like, what formula? And then that to 89 cents. And they said, well, it's 1% of your order.
Wow.
And I was like, guys, don't send any more fucking coupons to anyone. Like, I will never use you guys again. This is insane.
Well, I mean, that's not a secret that they did that. I mean, it just, yes, it sucks.
Stupid. It's incredibly stupid. I didn't know this is a common thing, but I was like, never again.
I'd never heard of it.
I remember seeing the formula at one point, but most people did a few books, so it was like $3 or
The $3 out of 300. You get a $3 coupon, $2,300. Just give them a free grade, like just a free book to grade. It's easy.
Right.
They were probably so far behind it didn't matter. Like I said,
your customers.
I don't care one or the other. Use who you want to use. Doesn't matter.
People do love them. I know a lot of people, friends of mine, that are big supporters. I just can't.
You can pay to get books back
things they do, but
quickly. Otherwise, stuff takes like way too long. We did a signing last summer, and I want to say it took like 9 months to get the order back, and it's 25 copies of the same book.
From CBCS or CBC?
CBCS, because they let me witness it. So it was with Drew from Wanted Comics. Dave Wilkins did a Masters of the Universe cover variant for him. It's on the wall up there. And so anyway, so we just went down, had lunch with him, signed a ton of books, and hung out, whatever. And I used to be a witness for him, a personal one. That didn't work for them or anything. Like years ago. So because of that let me reactivate and do it. But it's like, dude, like he pre-sold a bunch of these books. It was great. They're all 9/8, but like, it just
took forever.
It takes way too long.
I don't think anything last year was quick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, CGC is quick as heck, but
I also like the CBC people. I don't know the CBCS people, so if I knew them, I'd probably like them. But the CBC people, Brittany's awesome. If you guys don't know her, she's the fucking best.
She's helped me a lot over the years.
She's the only person there, I think, because she answers 1,000 calls a day.
She does. She works so hard.
Yeah.
They were all going to be pissed at bad idea though, because I just realized we have a book that's coming up that takes place in the CBC offices. and we like sent the artist a bunch of because there's not a bunch of photos, a few photos out there about how the grading works and the machines and all that. The whole thing takes place in the CBC
Oh
offices.
no.
They're doing that CGC. I don't know if you guys saw that. They're doing CGC Academy.
Yeah,
the grading academy.
It's a grading thing, but I think it's more for them to get. It seems like more for them to get people to try out. Yeah. Like I want to go just out of the curiosity. I'm not moving to Sarasota, So there's that, and and like I did that last thing I want to do is grade comics for a living. I kind of do, but like not hourly all day long. So I'm sort of interested in the process.
Are you gonna go?
that they use for stuff. I'm not gonna go, and I think it's more for people that actually want to work there.
Wanna work there,
Yeah.
I mean,
So I think
I think
it's
most
bad.
of the stuff. I think the interesting thing would be like, what are those weird situations? Knowing those would be interesting. Like the
Yeah,
donut.
yeah, the donut stuff.
Donut residue.
Yeah.
Process that could help me do things like I mean I don't know, ship books better or something like that. You know what I mean? Like how are these going to be stored in the process while they're waiting? I assume upright, like a conveyor belt thing or something, but I don't know. I'm just I'm sort of that's how I do it. That doesn't mean how they do it. And also they're not going to open packages right away, so you got to be really careful how you send them stuff because
I assume it's luck of where the postman drops it.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just curious about some of the stuff, but I'm not gonna go try to get a job there or anything like that.
Dinesh, the audience wants to know what you're drinking that looks so tasty.
I'm drinking red wine, Spanish Rioja. Here, this is what I'm drinking.
There you go.
In case anyone cares.
Ironically enough, it's a gentleman named Joey in the chat. So,
what's up, Joey? This is very tasty.
My box is from Costco.
Nice.
Joey heard you
drinking box wine. I didn't see that, Sean. Are you drinking box wine?
Yeah, it's the Costco brand, so actually it's not bad.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. I haven't had it yet.
Yeah,
it's good.
Fine. It's fine. It's my Monday.
It's nice and calm.
It's a cheap way to do it. Yeah.
Speaking of CGC, I just wanted to give a shout out to a friend of the show, a friend of mine. They had recently done the foreign comic grading information, and they picked out a friend of the show, Steve Bridwell. He's been on Globo Comic Safari several times. He's a great seller of foreign comics, buyer, all that good stuff, and he was the spotlight this week. So I just want to give him a shout out. Check out his amazing collection. He's got some books that most of you probably not seen. So
I was
congrats.
Speaking of international or foreign comics, I was talking to International Comics on his show, and he said they're doing a new slab for foreigns that's a little thicker. I can't remember what he called it.
Oh, cool.
Does that sound familiar to you?
He said something about it. I think it's maybe tied to. They've been talking about pulps.
Pulp, yes.
So that was going to cause them to do a thicker slab, and a lot of the foreign books, some of them are much thicker than traditional books, even thicker than trade. Some of them, because they did a lot of bound, or not bound, but a lot of just combined editions. So
right. So
yeah, they had Matt Nelson on a couple weeks ago.
So the thickness of the slab is going to be different.
Yes.
The size of the foreign, some of them are magazine, right?
Yeah. But
so
yeah, this was specifically tied to thickness.
It's not any thicker, it's just bigger.
No, but this was tied to thickness, not bigger.
Thickness of the slab or thickness of the book?
Thickness of both. Because, again, some of the foreigns are thick, and I think they're getting a new slab tied to, like, pulps.
Oh, I see.
So
yeah, I think there's machines to build the molds are very expensive. So that makes sense.
Yes. So I assume probably they're for pulps, but if you can add some other things to there, it fits in nicely.
I still don't know how they're going to do pulps. Like counting the pages on those, like that would probably drive somebody nuts.
Well, I'm hoping they upcharge because that's just tedious work.
Yeah,
and they might not even. There might not be a lot of history on some of those also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I also imagine it may cause more people to grade trade paperbacks and some of that oddball stuff,
Yeah.
If there's something that somebody can put in a slab, they will.
Like a donut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe the donut will fit.
I've graded trade. I've done that. I don't know why.
But I mean, I'm sure there's only certain sizes that fit.
Yeah, I think they can only go up to about 6 issues worth.
Yeah. So.
But they grade movie posters and stuff too. It's just a different.
But that's not a slab. That's just a Mylar sleeve.
Yeah.
I've got something that they won't grade. Do you guys want to see it?
All right, yeah. There's not a ton.
It's not a donut, I promise you.
It's a pizza.
It's a comic book. Okay, you ready? But
Yeah,
they
hold
don't.
on.
They told me that there is not. Oh god.
There
They
we go.
told me that there is not enough interest in them. They'd love to, but there's not enough interest in them. It is this thing. You know
Oh
what this is?
gosh, yeah. That's
This
like
is
a
the
time
first-
life sizer, right?
It's
Platinum,
huge. It's the-
Platinum Age, right?
yeah, this is the first DC comic book.
Ooh.
I don't know why they called it New Fun. I guess Fun was comics in the newspapers. So New Fun comic.
Old
first DC
Fun
book.
was books. This was comics.
Right.
And
Right,
more
actually,
more fun. They call that big, and more fun was just comic size.
So there's
Yeah, and
not
more
enough
fun
interest
This
to
book
make
when
the
it became
slab
a
that
comic
size?
Yeah, because there's just not many of these.
Huh.
There's not that many that exist. There's not many people that collect them. Only idiots like me.
Is that a
Wanna
time
buy
life backer?
I don't know what this is. This is what it came in.
I
bought
mean, I
this
gotta
San Diego
think
Comic
so.
Con
Huge.
1 year. Yeah. it's
I wonder if wonder you could talk him into grading the poster way, and just
Grading
tell
it
them
in
he'd
the
be
playbill
willing
type
not to have
thing?
it in a rigid as rigid.
Oh, I
as his.
should ask them. Yeah, that's a good
That
idea.
might be a way to sneak it in the back door.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I said that. Just we're gonna let it go.
I was gonna wait for someone to.
No, I was laughing. You just threw the yeah, they'll grade it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's fine. It's 90 years old. It'll be fine.
There's only like 12 copies in the world. There's 11
Yeah.
more. Don't worry. I was told that DC doesn't have one of these in their library. In their archive.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
fun.
very much enjoy.
Could let them.
Well, I mean, I've never seen one. That's the
first
only
one
one
I've
I've
ever
seen
seen.
with somebody holding. The other one's like online a picture.
They can
So,
screenshot your spotlight a moment ago. Put that in their museum.
Right. They have. I've been told I've never been to their library, but they have a big printout of it in the elevator that takes you up or down to the library. So the elevator opens up and the picture is.
Oh, wow.
but they don't
maybe
have
it's
one.
maybe it's an image of your copy.
Could be. I don't know.
It's
I don't
only
know what it
12. I
is.
mean, the odds are.
I think there's 12. The thing is, no one knows because there's no census. I was told there's about 12 by someone that collects these kinds of things. That they try to track where they are.
I mean,
They didn't know about my copy.
they're probably not super far off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 24, but it's not 100.
Yeah, there's like 30 copies of Tech 27, 40 of Action 1. So about that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not far off. Plus, being so giant, man, it's not in somebody's long box.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
find
those were going straight to the paper drive during World War II.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you
Right.
find them, it's like a pile of newspapers. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all
But
right.
I'm very happy to have it. Very lucky.
Hell yeah.
One more random kind of topic. Sounds like Marvel's losing the Conan license.
Now, okay, when Conan popped back up at Marvel, now I just automatically assume because Disney has such deep pockets, they just bought Conan. What are they doing licensing characters? This isn't the 90s anymore, or the 70s, 80s, 90s anymore. What are they doing licensing characters?
Because it was probably affordable and they have used him, and why not? But they only had the comic license. They didn't have any of the other license.
I think part of it is Ike Perlmutter still runs all publishing, while Feige runs all the film and TV. And Ike is very much a numbers guy, and they have to hit their quarterly earnings. And the poor people working in publishing are looking for any way they can hit the publishing numbers so they don't get fired. And they knew Conan would boost sales for a quarter. I'm sure they're not that bothered about it going back. Frederick Malmberg, the guy that owns Funcom, which sold to Tencent, is a huge Conan fan. I bet you they start publishing their own books, especially since the licenses, the copyright is expiring or has expired in certain countries, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not in America yet.
What I had read is that it's the company that got it is somehow tied to. I don't know. They own several things. They own the comic books. They want to self-publish. They had the video games.
Sure. Yeah.
And
When they
one
were
of the
back
other
at
kind
Paradox.
of adjacent might have been action figure license. I don't know. One of those kind of things. I was talking to Chris before the show. He believes Netflix maybe has the TV rights because they're doing the Red Sonja.
Oh, they are?
Well, they were. It keeps falling through, right?
Everything right now at Netflix is getting canceled.
And then somebody else has the movie rights right now. But it was,
Oof.
a mid-level thing. It wasn't Disney. Wasn't any of the big guys. So
this is basically like the comic book equivalent of wrestling's cheap pop, where you just
But think about this as well. If Marvel had said, "Hey, we got our pop, we don't need Conan, we're not renewing," and you owned Conan, the article you would put out is, "We're not letting them renew, we're pulling it back." You wouldn't want anyone else to say, "Oh, why is Marvel turning it down? Isn't that successful?" So this could be that as well.
Well, because I'm sure there's not a ton of people really following the Conan story, other than some hardcore folk. So,
Brian in the chat says Netflix has the rights to Conan.
I think they have the TV rights, is what I understood. And I was talking to Chris, who seems to know enough, and he had said somebody else has the movie rights. He tracked down. So
Netflix should do a thing where subscribers get one free comic in the mail for Conan.
Well, that would require having the license.
No, I'm in conjunction with this company.
Yeah, I did. Somebody, Wonderworld said that too. Is that I saw this as well. That Marvel is still having the republishing rights for like the Omnibus and all that stuff too.
Usually, these licenses have called a sell-off period. It's about 18 months to 2 years. It means after the contract is over and they can't make new content, they still have 18 months to 2 years to sell off any inventory back stuff. That's probably what it is.
There's what Dennis is saying, which seems to make sense if you're a trade paperback guy. Some of those omnibuses, after they're gone, and might make.
Dennis
money.
is here. I'm surprised he isn't yelling at me in the chat nonstop.
He's behaving, I think.
He just got
in. It's early for him. He'll get there later.
His Swisher Sweet must have hit him just right.
I don't know if we got an image for it, but Paul sent me a story about. I didn't. Dino did the images, so I didn't pay attention. But he did not go it. But damn it, Paul, do you have that info quick?
Oh, Brian from Netflix is Brian Wells. What's up, Brian? I know that guy.
The original Angela art that Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I just caught a snippet. Just the usual headline reader. Here it is. Yeah, it was. So Todd McFarlane finally returns Joyce Chin's Angela original artwork after 20 years, and I guess it was in his garage or something.
He basically said he just didn't know he had it.
Right. I mean, which makes sense. I'm sure he has lots of things, but
Can you imagine what the fuck is actually in Todd McFarlane's garage?
Right. And so that was kind of the talk of the town for the con she was at, and but she was thankful. I mean, it worked out in her favor because she said years ago,
cover art.
Yeah, right. She said, years ago, she said I would have sold it for who knows how much, and now it's worth who knows how much. And there's a lot of spec on that character, so
yeah,
I think it all worked out. Spawn Classics #2 was the cover it was used on.
Yeah, I mean, it probably went from a couple $100 to $1,000 to.
Yeah, here I can.
Any kind of cover is probably what $1,000 to. I'm sorry, $10,000 on something like that. If not,
and it was just a. They used it as a centerfold, I think, on one of the issues. I mean, it was like this, the classic Spawn or whatever you just said it was. Unfortunately, it wasn't one that they actually used, but I do. Like, if you saw my WonderCon pickups, for when they're cheap, I buy all the Angela covers.
I put it in the chats, Z, if you're able to pull it up and share your screen.
Taking me a second.
And he put a note in there, and it's pretty big. It's a big page. I don't know if that's standard OA page or not. You can tell us. size-wise, I mean. But it looks, I don't know.
Slow.
So, do you think it was hiding behind the Renoir or the Matisse?
Ads everywhere.
Yeah, Bleeding Cool is still really hard to navigate these days.
We're just gonna show it just because we talked about it.
Yeah,
enough,
just show the
but
image.
I think
It is a funny.
I think
note.
it's a win for her. Just I mean that's a nice looking image that will probably be a
It's
nice
nice.
nice boon for her year.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
So,
And I'd imagine $5,000 to $10,000 is what that goes for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but you
it
know what?
means-
That handwritten letter being sold with it, we got it up to that's about 10-15 now.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, because
being comic news is not going to hurt it.
Scroll to the picture above that, John.
I just killed it. Sorry.
Oh.
It's. I'm not bringing it back up because it took me 5 minutes to get past the ads. But it was just her.
Yeah.
Her at the
So
con.
yeah, there's a handwritten letter to Joyce. So sorry for the delay getting back. So we're back to you. I'd originally intended to return it after 20 years, not 25 years. Well, you drew this during the Reagan administration. I hope this will not happen again if you decide to do more. I can't read pages for me. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, it might get a little boost on just being a little.
You got to
famous
sell the
for
letter
it.
with it, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean that's a fun little story for things going on. You guys got anything else you want to hit before we hit the market report?
Did you guys see the Predator trailer? Or is that coming up later? That was on our list, wasn't it?
I did not get a chance to watch that one. I
I
meant
didn't
to.
watch
I
that.
Prey?
when it came
Talking
out.
about Prey?
Prey, yeah, Prey.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
It looks really neat. They marketed it as a Predator prequel. I don't know why you would even have to really touch on that, except maybe to excite people, to make sure that they knew it was a Predator universe.
Thinking we're all idiots.
Right. I mean, I would assume. I don't know. Maybe it's not set in ancient.
By the time the
times
movie
or
comes
what-
out,
you know
it'll
what I
be
mean?
called Predator 4, Prey, a Predator saga story.
I mean, the way it's set up,
The Predator is in this movie for sure.
the way it's
If you were marketing, you'd send out guts with it, you know?
right.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Free frozen steaks. So the way the trailer is set up, it makes you it looks like it's Native American, but maybe it's not. Maybe, who knows? It could be another planet. So I guess it doesn't really matter if they call it a prequel or a proquel or a whatever.
No, the synopsis, I read the synopsis. It was like 300 years ago in kind of like America before
Oh, okay.
this America. Because in the first one, they talk about it only comes in the hottest months, and
Yeah.
they've been hunting us for years. So I think it's that kind of story, which is cool.
Oh, cool. See, I didn't read the synopsis. I just saw the trailer. So thank you.
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, it would be nice to see Predator done right. It's been a long time.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dennis
Dinesh,
is
I got
saying
a
that
question
it's-
for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Okay, I'm not sure how far you want to go back, but talking about Valiant and the resurgence of Valiant, who's responsible for the creation of Punk Mambo?
Punk Mambo?
Yeah.
Peter Milligan was the writer on the book when we created Punk Mambo.
Okay.
Peter Milligan of Hellblazer and Constantine fame, and he's English, and he's kind of a loony punk himself. He's working for us at Bad Idea Now. We were actually just talking about Punk Mambo. He did this. The introduction was awesome. She was in a swamp. Shadow Man was the book. He had to go find her, and she was melting. If I remember right, she was melting a skull down to sniff the fumes, like sniffing glue, and getting high. And she's a punk, but she's also a mambo, which is like a female kind of priestess in the voodoo lore.
So when you
She's awesome.
when you first saw the character, you're just like, oh, this is a hit right here.
Yeah, we loved it. I mean, Peter's a story writer, and he's a bit, he tries to push the boundaries, and he's always pushing boundaries. And we kind of talked to him about which ones to push. But when he turned that in, we were super excited.
All right,
Love Punk Mambo. They're doing a lot with Punk Mambo now, a lot more than I would do with Punk Mambo if I was a Valiant.
Mhm.
Putting her out in front of everything else, but she's a cool character.
Right on.
Somebody
you a fan?
brought up a
I love
topic that we forgot.
I love Valiant altogether. It's
Awesome.
90s stuff. I had like just massive like 90s Valiant collection, and then getting into the reboot of Valiant.
Yeah, how'd we do
Damn,
on the
10
reboot?
years ago. I
10
loved
years.
it. I loved
Yeah.
it. Those, and the great thing was the variants. Those are like mythic level
Yeah.
variants. Yeah. Oh yeah, very hard to find. Just like I know it had me scrambling for a long time.
What's fascinating about that is we didn't do, at least for the first 4 or 5 years, a single variant less than 500 copies. And the first couple of years, less than 1,000 copies. It's just the Valiant fans are so passionate and so crazy. They don't leave their collections.
No.
Not it.
Yeah, because I went back, got hell. I like the gold key characters that
Solar Magnestora. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I went try to find those first appearances, which are still severely undervalued, by the way. But yeah. That's
they are.
Oh man. All right, cool.
We're boring everyone else. Sorry, guys.
No,
somebody brought up the topic that we got distracted by and forgot.
Are we gonna see Bloodshot 2?
Working on it. We're trying. You got to crack that script. There's a TV show actually we're working on, a Bloodshot TV show. That's looking like it'll come first, if anything. Who knows?
Still Vin, or maybe not.
Yeah, for both. He wouldn't be in the whole show. He's too big a star, but for the movie, sure. And I know I'm not involved in it. I know they're working on. They're pretty far down the road on a Harbinger.
Yeah.
Based on the script that I was involved in with Eric Heiser, and Wes Ball is directing it now at Paramount, and I think they're pretty close. And I know that they're working on a rewrite now to be very faithful to the 2012 books. Should be cool. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That may be fun.
One that they've talked about a long time. So.
Oh, that is pretty.
We got distracted. I thought we talked about it, but we talked about it before the show, and we know your original art collection is kind of like our childhoods in a handful of images, because you've got some of the most iconic covers out there. I just scrolling through some of the things. You've got the ASM 300, X-Men 266. You got the Vengeance of Bane, Ultimate Fallout 4, and I believe I saw Darkhawk 1.
Darkhawk 1, yes.
So I mean, you've got a lot of those things, and even you said, "Wow, this is something different."
I didn't know it was in color.
Right.
So
crazy, right?
That changes it, in my opinion, big time. That looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Lynn Varley probably the most.
How big is it?
It should say the dimensions
14 or something.
Let's see.
There's also there's a video in the auction that they show a picture. They show a pretty good picture of it in the video.
It's funny when Donny Cates showed off his original Miracle Man art. That thing was massive.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll mess with it, but I mean, that thing.
If you scroll down, there'll be a description at the bottom.
What's your thoughts on it here?
It'll say there. Added description. Dimensions 12 by 18.
Oh, there we go.
So
not as big as it looks.
So slightly larger than regular comic art.
I mean, it's a monster, just piece. It is. It's the start of the Batman we know.
Who's the current owner? Who's selling it? Or is that part of the that word about it?
I believe I could be wrong here. I hope I'm not doxing him if I'm right. I believe it's a guy named Joe Lee or Joseph Lee. He's got a big reputation in the original art world. They nicknamed him the Vacuum because there was a period of time when he would just hoover up everything and buy everything.
That's funny.
I believe he's the owner. I'm not sure though.
Well, that was probably a pretty smart move by him, because I think all that original art's doing very well.
Yeah, I think the estimates for this are between 1 and 5 million, which is a big number.
That's a big gap.
That's the highest piece sold that we've heard of.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. I don't know one collector that wouldn't, with that kind of fuck around money, that wasn't gonna be in on to brag and have this piece.
Okay, what would you rather have, that or Guernica?
What? Guernica? What's Guernica?
Do I need medicine for that?
It's the Pablo Picasso piece.
Oh.
It's literally
Oh.
it's as big as a wall.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, Guernica.
This.
Absolutely. That's his statement piece. With the horse, the whole thing about
Yeah,
the
the atomic
Spanish. Yeah.
Well, I think we're talking two different pay grades here.
bomb. I'm just saying. You could,
Didn't Guernica sell for like $60 million the last time it sold to the museum that has it?
Well, that's probably cheap.
I think it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I could be wrong.
you have to think, ease of use.
200 million. Sold for 200 million.
yeah, I mean,
Al
200
Guernica.
200 millions is not an uncommon number these days in the real art world. But you were saying something. What's the highest kind of OA piece that you've heard of?
If you don't include things like Robert Crumb, then the highest kind of a commercial American piece of art is a piece from Secret Wars #8, so for $3.2 million.
That cover. Yeah.
Wasn't the cover? It wasn't
No,
the cover. It was
No, it's the
splash
page.
Flash.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep,
splash
it was
page.
the page.
And then before that, the one right before that is an EC Comics cover with a kind of a KKK, the one with the KKK headdress, so for $860,000.
Was that include Bernie's Frankenstein gatefold?
Yes, I don't think any of those pieces have sold for more than 800 in the Frankenstein
I
stuff.
thought that was $1 million.
Was it? I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I know,
it
like
was close.
Frazetta gets up to the millions. Crumb
that
can
was
get up
his-
there.
Like Freda's was the art, like because
Yeah.
his are like they're closer to art than like comic pages.
Yeah,
and I
there's
don't-
paintings,
yeah.
paperback paintings.
So, I mean, this.
But
guy
also,
could
we
set
haven't seen
numbers.
anything like this. There's not in public auction. There hasn't been anything of this stature that's come up in a long time.
Yeah, so this will be a fun one to watch. And Sean, you bidding? Gonna get the first bid and go from there.
I've seen like crazy stuff on eBay and thrown I mean just crazy stuff and thrown like a couple grand or something just to be like at one point I was the highest bidder on like Action Comics 1.
I
Just
threw
to
in
say
on
I
that
did it.
early on.
Yeah, so stuff just like for fun, where it's like it doesn't matter what you bid, So so I don't think so maybe that, but other than that, no, I'm not bidding.
What up, Vinny Kumar? Sorry, I'm just saying hi to my buddies.
No problem, man.
Yeah, what's up, Vinny?
I look forward to you holding it in about 2 months and going, oh, I got it. Don't worry.
I'm not after this one. I'm not going to be bidding. But there is in the same auction. There's a couple other things I'm eyeing, so I will focus on those.
You like to find the more modern things that we all kind of grew up on.
Yeah, it's so much nostalgia for me. That's a big part of it. And I love the Dark Knight. It's amazing. I mean, it's a work of genius. But I didn't buy it off the stands. I read it much later in life, and so I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it. And it'll go to someone that did, and it should.
Yeah, it's a tad. It's probably a tad older than I would have been in it as well. So
yeah.
Let's start the market report. Just hitting on one that you do have. Just happened to pick it up, but this book is still a little bit in a downtrend. I mean, it was pushing 6. I think even a couple months ago we saw a couple $6,000 sales. Still holding steady at 5, which is really
strong.
Good considering 2020. Before 2020, it was a $200 to $2,500 book. So it just lost a little bit of the craziness.
But the newsstand goes for like 10 to 20, right? Of this book in 9.8.
I don't think 20.
It'll go a little more.
Yeah, I think it's only maybe 10, 20% higher.
Really?
I don't. There's just so many. These are never going to stop going for sale. So if you got a price, this would probably be your bottom price to get in on this at a 9.8. Is about 5, and if you started really like trying to find one at 5, you'd eventually probably find one.
I think the newsstands are a little more common at this age too.
In high grade.
I just think there's a little more. I mean, it's not like a 1% of them are newsstand. I think it's probably 20% of the 9.8s are newsstand if you really look at them.
Yeah,
okay.
Because a lot of them were graded before they noted it.
Yeah, it's just the back cover on this thing is just impossible, and it's so thick that the newsstand definitely is one on this book that deserves a premium.
And it's got the overhang on the cover on the top, right?
Yeah, this is people aren't really getting, not that I see, getting 9/8 back, because I think people realize how expensive this is. So the people that have kept their bagged and boarded copies have it going. I do have one up at a 99-cent auction right now, but it's not a 9/8.
Not a 9/8.
Nah, it's probably a 6 though.
I was like, don't auction at 99 cents because they only got 5K on it. You get more. I don't like to point out issues of CGC, but this one was kind of weird, and I didn't even catch it at first. I was like, how'd this sell so cheap? If you look at the CGC label, it is labeled as second print newsstand, but it is neither a newsstand nor second print.
That's why they paid so much, though, is for the inconsistency.
So I don't know. It probably was chosen that way, and quality control missed it. I did look in the census, and there are 3 9/8s listed for this book now. I don't know if any are real. I haven't seen a real copy of it.
There weren't a lot. I think I had mine, the one I accidentally got. I think it came back 7. It was 7.5, and also there were accidents on the listings. Like all of a sudden, 3 9/6s came up, and it's not surprising now that people know about this book that there are 9/8s, but there were 3 9/6s. As soon as I saw that, I think my 7.5, I think the highest was like an 8.5. So like the second somebody offered me $1,000 on eBay, I just thought, you're good, take it, go.
Well,
you know?
I just don't know if it's one of those things where like it's in their system and somebody's choosing it as a variant, and they're not catching it easily.
People could have done it on the paperwork and they just checked it off, and it came, and it came like that, So yeah, clearly, but quality control.
So labeled correctly.
This
what
is
is this book?
this
What
is
should this be cost?
this is just a regular first print, and not a newsstand. So
it's like $100.
Newsstand,
Yeah,
$100.
Yeah,
But the highest graded
probably
of the
200
second
now,
print
but
newsstand was a 9.4 for 2,300.
Oh wow!
Ouch!
That's the highest legitimate sale. There's currently 66 on the census, but again, I'm a little less convinced that they're all truly right. Just because it is an easy one to kind of get confused by. For those of you that don't know, it would actually, obviously it would have a newsstand.
Let me see
Down there, but the top banner would say a new Robin story, I think it says, or a new Robin book.
Yeah.
So it is fairly identifiable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there's more second print summer newsstands, and some will have they have the date on the newsstand in the barcode on this book, which isn't prevalent. It was like we did a, I don't remember who wrote it, but Comic Book Invest had 5 years ago or more.
I referenced the article to get the info.
Oh, did you? I think Van wrote it, actually.
I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, and that's how. Well, when the one I had, literally, I bought off my comic shop for $2 blind. I was like, like I can, I still do a lot more volume of smaller stuff, and every time they list one at $2, I just pull it down. Hopefully, it would be one, but I could always sell it for $8 or $10 anyway. So it's like, it's a little bit of profit. And then when they sent me the real thing, and I was like, all right, pretty happy about that. So
that's cool.
That's a hell of a gamble. That's a hell of a gamble.
Yeah, but it was like there's like $2. It's not that big a gamble for $2.
But you know what?
It's a key issue.
When it keeps showing up, you just keep buying it and buying it and buying it. That's admirable.
And then when I told the story on Unpressable, then I wasn't able to get any more, because then they all disappeared in about 30 seconds every time they list one. I was like, son of a bitch, I added myself.
You don't tell your secrets. Saw this one, doesn't pop up too much. Cave Woman, high grade.
Cool. Is that the first Cave Woman?
Yeah. It's one of those books that I've only held one. I had it for a minute. I bought one. I was at a show and I set it down, and somebody bought it right back from me at a number I couldn't refuse, and I said okay. But a 9.8 went for pretty tremendous amount not too long ago.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out for this one in the world. This is a book we all know I have an obsession with. Third print, 9.0 went for $323. Stats, the first print has 52 9/8. Second print has 2 9/8. I have one of those. There's still no 9/8 in the third print.
Wow.
A 9.6 did sell for $700. A 9.4 sold for $450, both this year. Actually, last November, a 9.2 sold for $599. So,
Any idea on the print run numbers between the prints on this?
when I did research many years ago, it said the third print was the rarest. But I tell you what, I feel like the second print I see way less of. So, I don't know.
Yeah, people are. I don't know, and it never makes sense, really, because some people, how some books, second, third, fourth prints are going to go for more, and then some don't. There's not an actual. I don't know. There's not an actual hierarchy anymore.
Well, I brought my second print 9.8 for $250 in an auction that nobody bid on. Wow. I think in 2019. It's on GPA. It was not that long ago. And it actually went through a cycle, and I missed it because I was, not paying attention. I went back, tried to buy it. He's like, "Nope, I'm auctioning again," and I got it for $250. I'm like, "All right." So it's one of those weird ones. The first print has jumped tremendously. I just don't know if people realize how hard the second and third print are right now because nobody cared. So,
why is this book more in demand than Caliber Presents?
The cover is just better. Caliber Presents is just,
is there, what's the difference on, how do you tell first, second, third print? Anything on the outside, or is it all guts?
The easiest way is to look on the indicia inside. They'll have a date and a print. You can tell from the black background some. The first print kind of is very consistent. The second and third print, like there's some spots where it like goes where the art with the hair is a slightly different color than the rest of the background. It's not easy, but you can if you're comparing to. So,
hey, when's the last time anybody did a reprint of this exact cover?
I don't know that I've ever seen a U.S. reprint.
Didn't know if store
Becomes a
exclusive
virgin
or
copy.
who knows, whatever.
Here comes the virgin store exclusive.
I mean, I don't know who the hell has the rights to it.
Yeah, that's true too.
Might be James himself for all we know. So
Probably.
I mean, the trades. The trades, even when they print those, they're not usually this image. So I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fantastic Four Greek, actually a pretty decent price that somebody got it for. These are Greek books are freaking tough. They're not as old as some of the other ones, but just think of the population of Greece and how few there are. Plus, they don't have a reliable eBay system, so it's either somebody there that knows somebody that can get it on an eBay process. They don't have a great auction site within country, or if they do, it's real freaking hard to translate. So we just don't see a lot of them. This is a book. If I actually would have seen it before, I would have bought it for $300, not even questioning it. So
yeah, 4 bids seems low too.
Yeah,
people just don't. You can't look for everything. So the guys that are looking for it don't notice it, and then the people that aren't looking for it don't know what it is. It's still a very small amount of people paying attention to what the foreign market is. But I think it will be interesting as more people grade the CGC stuff and just kind of see it.
I love that they made Doom pink.
The coloring
on spec.
The coloring, coloring in some of the issues is amazing. If you get bored, look at the Australian editions, the Yaffas. Everything is wild colors.
Yeah,
they just I think they were like, U.S. comic books are boring. Let's put a lot of aquas and pinks and all that good stuff in them. Give it a little flair. These two were ones that just caught my eye. They were right next to each other. Action Forces, the UK magazine, pseudo reprint, some new material version of G.I. Joe. But I just thought it was real sweet to have a 2-part story arc, the only 9/8, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. It just looked cool, and I'm like, that's kind of a.
Did you buy them?
I didn't. I didn't even see them until I was just doing the market report. So I'm like, dang, that's a cool little. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, that's something nobody else has because there's only one on the population report of one and 2 of the other.
Yeah, and I wonder. I kind of hope it was the same guy wanted
Right.
both. Because how sad would you be?
Oh God, you'd be heartbroken.
So there'd just be 2 sad people that should find each other.
That is the best opening to a rom-com I've ever heard.
I was going to say some
Yeah.
kind of meet cute happens in the
2 guys by Action Force 37 and 38. They live across the country from each other.
One of them happens to be Hugh Grant, and the other one
Right.
is
The first
Drew Barrymore.
romantic comic book movie.
Two
There you
people
go.
on the CGC boards are going to find love.
amazing.
What's
Oh
the
my
title
God.
of the movie? Boards of Love.
Okay, so this is all right. So it's a UK magazine. So look at those labels. These are mag size. I don't know if you guys- You just don't see them. You don't see those UK mags much less in
No,
perfect condition. So
It's cool. I mean, it's not the best visual art, but it's just neat to kind of they're not quite the same cover, but they're similar enough that it's a sweet little piece.
We do need a title though. This is bugging me now. I've got a tagline. It's go this Christmas. Go Joe on love. But we need a movie title.
Well, I'll let you guys keep working at the background. Paul, you're on this, I think.
Come on, Paul. You can crack this.
Something. Yeah.
Another G.I. Joe book, the G.I. Joe special. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous cover.
That's awesome.
Don't see a lot of them. 770-ish range. It honestly feels like not a terrible price if you're a Joe fan.
yeah, I had sold. I had a 9.8. I sold a couple of years ago. Really, really sad. I asked for what I thought was too much money, but 2 years ago it was too much money. But it's like
Yeah, it's probably
like
was that
500
$350 at
or
the time?
something. I think I got like 5 for it, and it definitely made money.
It's a little
But
better.
honestly, I get these. I had like one a month of these. Somebody, or maybe not that much to press one of these things. Dude, there's wear all over these things. For the cover's nice. The back on this is always going to be a problem. So, and any books that like that, honestly, that just means that they're good purchases to me in 9.8. That's one thing. I start to see stuff that it's like I know that there's not like a bunch of gonna keep coming. So what's out there is what's out there.
Isn't the rap on this that these things spine split pretty easily?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's the color breaks pretty easy. I don't know about spine split because it's just it's a thin comic book. The paper is just the paper of the era, so it's like paper. There's no slick texture, so it's not difficult to press or anything. It's just difficult. The back survived in enough, and also I believe it's black, so seems to be a little more rub on this book than some of the other ones of the era for some reason. I don't know why, or it could have been. I've seen a lot of copies, and if I'm going to work on it, I'm going to study it closely. So yeah, I just don't know. Like I'll take it out of the bag and I'll look at the back and I'm like, another 9.0,
Yep. Yeah, I remember having this back in the day, and definitely nowhere near a 9.8.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't found a bunch of them, they're not out there, Carter.
Nah. I blew them all out in a lot.
This one, I don't know why. This one's one of those characters that keeps kind of circulating as rumors. It was talked about for Hawkeye and all that silliness. But kind of moving back down. It was as high as $600 earlier last year. A few sales. 115 9/8 just for reference. So not super rare for a book that isn't have any real dedicated steam behind it, but just something to kind of keep out. If it goes down cheap enough, it might be one to put away. Don't see these Max Ash cans very often, and they get hella good money every time you do.
These are amazing.
I've never seen one in real life. I just haven't.
Yeah.
And I dig through all those weird little bins and missized and independent stuff, and I just have never come across one. So
Yeah, and the lower grades also, even if it's at a comic store, the way it's going to store, I mean, there's no real bag for it, so it's going to float around in the thing. So if people keep digging through, it's just real easy to get bent, or if there's too much pressure in a box to put it in a place, when everything's the same size, they're going to be fine. You got one weird one, it could put a dent in this, or put a dent in the book in front of it when it's pushed back. So yeah, 8.5 is probably not a bad grade for this.
I had that whole order of Turkish books I sent you, and there was like a couple of regular editions, and they took some spine ticks from being too close together.
Yeah.
There's different colors, right? There's black, there's red, there's blue, there's green, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, there are definitely colors. Yeah. I do not remember which. I think certain issues may have multiple colors.
Yeah, I think there's certain with these and the splitting images, and, a lot of them.
Yeah, I do not remember them all, but I do know there's different colors involved in all of them. That's the one
wow.
I've not.
That's bright,
right?
In a good way. Like
for a 3.0, that is
damn.
That boy clean.
Must be the ugliest back cover we've all ever seen, or there must be some interior stuff going on, because that is that's the brightest red I've seen in a book that old.
Okay, because they're right in the center, there's like a you can see what looks like it might be either a really heavy crease or a tear. But other than that,
under the word perfect strike in the middle,
right,
there's definitely at least a 1 inch. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's most likely that's a for the grade, good chance that's a tear. But it doesn't matter if you I buy my niece's name Millie, so I've got her a bunch of like random Millie comics usually for her Christmas or birthday, and haven't run across one of these. She's probably 5 years from graduating high school. Then maybe she can work. then maybe one of these will come by. So
get her get her this in the 4-color creations. The wood and stuff.
Oh yeah. I buy her I buy the ones that I think are cooler covers.
Yeah, it's not a cool color.
Like nice grade. She doesn't. I haven't bought her any slabs or anything like that. She doesn't care. I just put them in milers and top loader. That way,
it is a number 1.
Less damage.
Yeah, I think it's the red and the number 1.
It truly the color caught my eye. I scroll through a couple, couple thousand.
It looks
listings.
Like a scan also. So I did the scan with the bright light of the printer. They could have got this just right, or some of those scans some scans need edited before they're uploaded just for clarity's sake. So I'm not going to call it like
that blue on the
Photoshopped or
CGC
something.
label also looks pretty bright.
Yeah, the blue. And also, if you look at the top, probably a scan because it fades out there at the top. So the CGC is a little fit. Yeah, so I'm just saying it might not be as bright when you get it in your hands.
Fair. This is one I usually would only talk about during Christmas, but I'm in shock that the price point of these are moving up so much. I mean, this used to be a book you could get for nothing. $20 would get you a copy, and now this is not a particularly high grade. $250 off season.
Right.
Yeah, off season.
But it's a great book. Every year when Mad 1 keeps climbing, this is going to start climbing.
That's fair. You're true. It's just the high tide effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one Mad 1, and that's staying with me for the long haul. Unless I get it, it's like a 4 or 5. So unless I get a better one, but it's really bright, deep purple, and just
it's funny. Ozzy bought me the whole run of this, and there's only a couple of covers that are really fantastic. They're all interesting. Yeah. I think it's only 12 or 13 issues. there's a few that are interesting, but this one just is one of the pinnacles, so to speak, of it. Surprised by this sale. Shazam 28, 41.98, which truly is not a ton for a book like this.
It's high. It's a lot.
But the October 21 high sale was $7K. So I would have thought as we're getting closer and there's things, a little bit of previews coming, that it would pump up. I don't know if it's fatigue because this movie's been coming for a decade and a half, or if it's just, the greater economy is a little bit wonky and people are less throwing wild money around. I don't know.
So, deal or flip side, what would you rather have, that or the 9.8 Spidey 300?
300.
300.
Demand,
300.
dude, supply and demand. This is just, trust me, whoever bought this already has a Spidey 398.
Right?
This is also not the first appearance, right? This is like first Silver or something.
Yeah,
Marvel Family 1 was the first appearance.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
Copper, I'm sure, but yeah.
Okay.
I've got the original and I'm happy with it, but yeah, I don't know that I'd reinvest that at the prices it's at either.
Yeah, that's heavy.
The Marvel Family 1, you mean? You've got one of those?
I bought them. God, like I had two
Those are
copies.
hard
I
books
traded
to
one.
find. You had two?
I got into it like 10 to 12 years ago. I was amused by the character. So it was before the world took off.
Yeah, and this is when there was somewhat of an announcement a long time ago. For about 6 months, these were like easy to find because nobody gave a shit about this book whatsoever. And then there's Sword of the Black Adam announcement or whatever's going to happen, and probably 6 or 7 years ago I'm talking about. And then, but at the same time, you're finding them for $3 to $5. So, and back then, a $50 raw book was a decent price book. Now books come out the day of release, they're at 50. The rarest ratios were barely hitting $50 back then. So,
well, when I bought the Marvel Family 1s, I had it on eBay search for years before one would pop up because nobody was looking for them. There was just no demand in the buy side, so there was nobody listing on the sell side. Kind of like any of the Charlton comics. So,
Yep.
When they did pop up, I snagged a couple. But yeah, it's when there's no buyers, they're just people aren't looking to sell it either. So it's an interesting thing to nab to watch.
I didn't even catch the $200 shipping. This is a
200 shipping?
This,
that's the first thing I saw.
there is fuckery afoot with this listing. Scratch it.
Well, who lists for 200 shipping? Come on, just make your profit.
That's such bullshit.
I hadn't seen a Turner SS in a long time.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
honestly,
got some dedicated fans, truthfully.
That'd be something. It looks really good with the yellow label on top too, and the blend. The SIG's probably in the perfect place for it on this book.
I mean, that is that book in 9.8 is probably a $30 to $40 book, but that signature, somebody paid $500 for a signature.
Wow, that much of a premium.
Yeah,
I just don't think he signed a lot.
there's not that many before he died, so
Yeah.
And to get a pretty one with a good signature, somebody
for
was
a
probably
character
very
he's
happy
known
to
for
see it.
drawing well. Yeah,
I used to have a Turner SS hunt, and
Yeah.
I didn't really ever see much that popped up. So I don't know how rare. Like, it's not Frazetta rare, but it's on the rare end of popular artists. I can't imagine there's many thousand. Paul sent me this one.
Oh God,
You want to talk a minute about it? I mean, you are the Turtles expert.
so painful.
what did he sign right on his face, man?
What amazing placement. I would buy this for the placement.
Stan
So-
Lee special.
So Peter and Eastman kind of went their separate ways, and so Laird was doing his own run and releasing them through Mirage, their website, towards the end, and it was so funny. I was in a comic book store when I think I saw issue 25 or 26, and they stopped at 32. I was like, whoa, they're still doing turtle books. Like, I was kind of getting back into comics at the time. I was like, whoa, what is this? So anyway, this issue is the first issue limited to 1,000 that Peter released exclusively through his website for $10 a pop, and it's just a beautiful Cantina throwback cover, and then 30 and 31, and I think 32 might also been limited to 1,000, but these 29 and 30 are just the home runs. 30 is this nice hammerhead shark right on the cover, and this one's Casey having a cold one, and it's just awesome. But yeah,
I think you
above my
ruined
price
32.
range.
The hammer.
He
The
might have
ruined
told a friend
32?
of ours that existed, and I think too many got out in the world.
What happened to
Which
32?
one? 31?
31 or 32, the one with him looking like
Yeah, 31
the
was
The Pied
Yeah,
Piper,
31.
Pied Piper or something?
yeah.
that was 31, and then I
It's
can't
still only
remember.
1,000 of them out there though. And
No,
like
I
half
know,
of
but
them
I just
have
think too many
binder
got out
sketch.
in the aftermarket, whereas
flipper
some of the
community.
early ones, are in those diehard turtle fans. Like that shark cover
Yeah.
never comes up, and this one I never see.
Dude, that
The
shark cover came up on a website the other day. I want to say maybe 600 or 700 raw. I think they had it at VF or something like that. And I was like, oh, dude, I was like, it's just not going to come up. I've just got to do this. I've waited like 10 minutes and it had sold in like 9. I'm literally in my car and I go to hit to checkout and I'm like, and I realized that the value of, I had some other books in the cart already that like I don't really care if I get, and I realized that the value in the cart went down by like $800 from like
Ooh.
800, and I was like, damn it. So I was close to having the shark one, man. See
It
what to
doesn't come
do.
up
And
much.
yeah, and dude, I put it at a real dumb price and eventually win. But I had the shark one, man. I think I razzed it for like 150, 180, something like that. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
But, and
it's-
a bunch of the flippers are the ones who got 31. It might have been. It was so long ago, Paul. It might have been you that gave us all the link.
Yeah, he gave it.
yeah, I passed out the 31 thinking it would be lightning in a bottle, the 2930, because it was limited, and then unfortunately that one fell on its face. The shipping wasn't that great, but it wasn't that great for 29 and 30 either. But yeah, those are the two top tier covers. I got outbid, so that's my story.
Yeah, that was an absolute shit show.
Yeah, this one was for
absolute
you.
shit show shipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, terribly shipped
It's for
books,
me?
and I still have the other copies. So
I love me a newsstand.
I know you do.
$3,000. Look at that.
You
That's
have one of
crazy.
the premiere of the Ultimate Fallout 4s. I don't recall if I've seen another one yet or not, but I know you have one of the newsstands of that.
I do. I love
I think
it.
I've only seen
What-
like one other of the newsstand of that, but it wasn't 9.8. But it was.
So
like
what are your
9.8.
thoughts on a 9.4 newsstand like this getting such a premium? Because I mean a 9.4 standard is going to be at probably $200, maybe $250.
I think it's exactly where the market should be. I don't know if there's a 9.6 or a 9.8. This is the thing about newsstands. Even the ASM 300, the print runs are kind of inconsequential because they get beat up so much. They get beat up. They get thrown out. They're read by the wrong people. It's like the donut book. There's so many people that bought for the donut. Those books aren't going anywhere. They're probably in the trash. Or maybe they're at someone's home. The kid's playing with it. The kid's reading it. They don't know what it is. They're never going to come into eBay or our circle. These are like that. So I think this is where the market is.
I don't disagree, and I think truthfully these ones from let's say 2005 and beyond are almost impossible. When's the last newsstand? Does anybody remember? It's been
And
5
they're
to
the
7 years.
rarest.
It's been a while.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
End
it's
of-
just-
end
and it's
of,
just Barnes and Noble shit. And if you remember being I lived by Barnes and Noble,
Oh, they were
and the books were so
disasters.
beat that unfortunately I'd be like, nah, and I wouldn't buy them, even though you know what I mean, because I never considered the premium. Don't be wrong, I would have if there was like keys, like you know what I mean, like a real key. I don't know if there is one, but like if like Edge of Spider-Verse 2 or something, like where there's a character cover first appearance, I've been like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know? You might know this. Did Ultimate Fallout 4? Did the newsstand come polybagged?
I don't think it did. My understanding is it did not, but I'm not entirely sure. It's so hard to find the information for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I
You'd
bought
almost
that
have
thing.
to
I
know
think I
somebody that
paid-
worked at the distribution companies
Yeah.
and see if they remember. Like maybe they're a comic fan, so they actually remember or something.
Yeah. But it's hard. I mean, I don't have one of these in newsstand. This is a hard book to find.
No, I can't imagine. I think the last of the newsstand was the end of New 52. So
Yeah,
that
I
would've
think
been
it was
around 2017-ish.
Yes, I think they stopped doing them. I think Diamond stopped distributing them to retailers in 2015, and then it was Barnes and Nobles that had them 2 years longer, and then it was done.
Yeah, you could
They
find them
stopped.
at Barnes and Noble and I think Books A Million.
Yeah.
And
So
I
those
mean,
last
every
2
time,
years are like minute.
every time I went to one of those, I mean, every book you saw was bent in half. Somebody's looking for the best copy and just
Mhm.
ruined the other 10.
Well, the way they
Yeah.
wrapped
Oh,
was
yeah.
terrible at Barnes and Nobles. So.
Yeah, no one cares. There's like the employees don't care. The people working there don't care. It's not a comic store.
Remember that Batman Death of the Family was a thing, and like the die cut covers, and but the newsstands were like slightly different, slightly more sought after. So I went to a Toys R Us and just like selected the most perfect pristine copy, put it on the counter. The girl at the checkout, she's just flapping it around, doesn't care.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, there was a girl actually worked at a comic store in Santa Monica that would do that. Would pad your comics, your 10 comics you're buying that day, pad them together and bang them on the table so they were straight.
You're talking about Heidi Ho.
Yeah.
I dealt with
I
this.
lived
I would
next
go
door.
up there and I would hold them for her to scan. I'd be like, no, don't touch them.
Oh,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, she got fired. But like, yeah, no, seriously, I lived at 9th and Broadway, so literally like 100 yards from Heidi Ho. They had the
great
best
store.
digging that there was. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're around. Eddie's man, but yeah, she would. I'm like, what in the living? And do you remember the racks they had where the wood stuck up, so you'd see the top
With the
of
old,
the
with
books?
the old
rack.
location.
So they go behind. Yeah. When they had the
Yeah.
giant, not the original skinny one, but the big one that was like a tire store on Lincoln.
Yeah.
So
I know
yeah,
that.
so they had like that. So when people like not us, obviously they want to see the books behind them, and they just leave books out until they, they usually wouldn't end up even bagging them, boarding them, put in the bins. They just leave them out till they sold. So I'd see people come in, they want to look for books, they just bend them right over. So right in the middle, just bent over, look through every book.
yep.
So you got to get it.
I love
Don't get
that.
me wrong.
I went there and I pulled a Marvel Spotlight 5, first Ghost Rider, and I brought it up to the counter. And I said, how much is this? And they went, 25 cents. I went, what? And that's the cover price. I was like, yeah, but this is an old. I was like, oh, what do I do? I know what the book is. This is 15 years ago. So what do I do? I'm gonna be nice guy. You sure this is the first appearance? Yeah, it's all beat up. 25 cents. I was like, all right, here's my quarter.
You tried. You tried to let him reprice.
I tried.
Dude, I got a lot of digging done in that store. Lots of digging. Every time something new came, something became hot. I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy. I went somewhere, place we were just talking about the Shazam 28. It's like that's an example of a book. I got a handful of other bins for whatever they price it at. Or they get in a new collection. I'd walk across the street and I'd be like, oh shit, there's a new collection. What if they're not priced yet? Oh, if they're not priced yet, they're $2. Okay.
Jeez.
Well, that's good. Walk out like this. Yay.
Stop it.
All right, I got one last book. This is for you, Sean.
What do we got? Oh,
Werewolf
nice.
by Night. Or Marvel Spotlight 2, Werewolf by Night.
Wow.
Oh, too bad.
Did a little
Wow.
census look just to see where it was.
Well,
Actually,
with
I
there's
lied. I
now
didn't do a census.
the only 9.8 has come out, and to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't been advertised. But there's the first 9.8 on the census has come out.
Well.
So 9.6 was the highest, and then I was dumb not to buy a 9.6. I've only got a 9.4. But
What's a 9.8 worth, Sean? Do you think 9.8?
I don't, dude. I can't. It's the only. I can't even. So it's not like he's Ghost Rider or something like that, but it's still a popular. I mean, with what's happening now, and like this is a square bound damaged book. This is not one that you're just. This is not. There's a reason this is only 198, It's because it's impossible. So there's not more going to show up. I think we'll see more Marvel Spotlight 5s that people clean and pressed to 9.8s. We'll see another one.
Probably a
but, like,
9.6 that got flipped.
I don't know, like 80, 100 or something, just because it's not quite as popular. It's only one. Because the 9.8 Marvel Spotlight 5 sold for like $225 or something like that.
250.
And there's like 6 of them. 250. There you go. Yeah, 260, whatever. And but there's a handful of those, and there's only one. It's just it's Jack Russell is never going to be Johnny Blaze.
Well, the only 9.6 sale was last year for $14K. Well,
and they
there
used
was
to
one a decade ago, but that didn't.
There's
happen.
one sat on eBay for a year for like $1,500, and I kept figuring out I was just gonna go ahead and get it because it was the highest grade, but I didn't. I think I broke the record buying a 9.4. I paid like $800 or something like that. But I was like, nothing's come up for a long time. I just really want one. And obviously that was a while ago, but
it's actually down a bit. There have been 9 sales in 2 years. The highest was $2,600. But this is the first one in 2 years to be less than $2,000.
Interesting.
It's just I don't want to say like it's I don't know. We just hit these fluctuations in the market. It just seems like, and we're at one of those crossroads.
Yeah.
I bet there's a
They're
lot
just a little
more.
less than they cost a month or two ago.
I'm betting there's a lot more There's a lot more being graded than there were 2 years ago. So
True,
9.2 is a grade that will pop up.
Dude, it's got that cover overflow. Like this cover's so thin for some reason. Also, you can sort of see through it. It's hard to tell, but you can see through like to the in the lighter spots and on the white, like where Marvel Spotlight or behind his head there in the third little panel. You can see the printing of what's on the other side of that cover through this book. So it's
really?
I'm just telling you, because I've only had I didn't, like I said, I bought the 9.4. I didn't grade it myself, but I've never even put a copy into grade because I kept buying them over the years and just I'd resell them, and they're all beat up. Nobody cared. Like it's almost like, okay, even when there was collectors back then, I don't know if this is completely true, but a theory to me is like they're not even probably thinking of that. The people who were putting away first appearance covers weren't probably even thinking. They're thinking it's a werewolf story, not realizing it's a new character. So there's possibly not even realizing it's a first appearance, and not want to so didn't get put it away. So I don't know. I always collect werewolf stuff, so that's why I got his mask right there. So,
well, like I said, I'm just willing to bet
Supernatural too.
I'm willing to bet 9.2s pop up on occasion versus just because of demand.
Well,
9.4, 9.6, 9.8 less.
Yeah, no one has gone up also because I did, and there used to be a lot of them on eBay for. I mean, you get a 9.0 for $150 or something like that. And I waited for a higher grade. I haven't checked the census on it, but there's not. I mean, there's going to be 9.8s of that book for sure, but like, there's just not tons of them. So I ended up, I don't know, I bought a 9.2 last year sometime, and so sometimes you kind of pay attention to the books that you own yourself. So, so you're bored. Like it's not one I'm trying to sell or anything like that. But so I don't know. I think it's good. People are speculating on the monsters. Like when it hit the Marvel premiere, as it hit $10,000 for a 9.8 somehow. And I'm like, okay. That was it's not the hardest book to get a 9.8 out of. I've seen a lot of high grade copies. I have 9.6, but it's Mark Jewelers. So if someone wants to buy it, I'm probably going to price it at $10,000 also because it's an MJ.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to get it. I got it off. Walker sent me the link a while ago. Mile High had it as near mint. I don't even know what I paid, 80 or 100 or something. And the only reason they had the premium on it was because it was because that was a lot of money for that book back then, especially a raw unseen copy from Mile High grading. But
everything.
Yeah,
I think Mile High is a gamble.
I fixed it up. It's I still to get. I actually thought I had shot it in 9.8, but maybe I'll take a look at it again. I don't know. But so
no pictures.
Yeah, no idea. But sometimes
Matrix printer.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll have a bunch of copies on eBay and like one on their website at different prices. They got
Yeah.
like 20 Ultimate Fallout 4 second prints. They listed as near mint for like, I don't know, 70 or 80 bucks each or something like that, and just put them away. And I'd slowly grade them. And the worst I've done, like I'll throw like 1 per shipment in. So the worst I've done is a 9.6. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with 9.6.
I haven't bought one in 2 years. Are they still using the legitimate dot matrix printer?
I do. This was a year and a half ago, so I don't know. I think they are though. If I remember correctly, I feel like I had the printout. I feel like I kept them because I just obviously I didn't keep them wrapped up.
It's
I
the ones
opened
with
them, put them in
the
a
things
short
on the
box.
side.
Why would they stop? Why would Brzezinski
If
stop?
it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
At
You know?
some point, that thing's gonna
Does
die,
Buddy
right?
still dress
It's a
up like a
brand.
woman and go to crazy drag show stuff? I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do what you like.
Hey, Sean, is that a grading tip if you have a stack of 5 or 10 of the same book to just trickle grade them versus sending them all in at once?
I feel like that because I've gotten screwed before, and because of when I've done stuff, not of my own really too badly, but like for like we all, I mean I do wanted comics books as everybody knows, but I've had like where I go through, I'll send 25, and he'll have a store exclusive, so he wants to get some, wants some 9.8s out of there.
Right.
I won't usually do the pre-screen, and to be honest with you, I don't really need it, especially on a brand new book that just came out. Like if you can't find some 9.8s in there, something's wrong,
Yeah.
And so grab them, print them, send them in, and like we had one order just get butchered with like 9.2s and 9.4s, like very few 9.8s, and I think it was like 20. It was 25, and it was a mix between the Virgin and the Trade, but it was the same book. I think it was the Haha 1 Gallagher cover, and it got butchered, man. I haven't, and you can't. We got no idea why. They can't tell you. No grader. Like, you give me modern 9.2s and no graders notes, which has happened a couple times lately. I just get pissed because I'm not. I might send it in for other people that just want to get it graded anyway. But I mean, maybe Ultimate Fallout 4 variant or something like that. But I'm not going to grade a modern 9.2. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not adding for the 30 or 40 bucks after Fast Track. You're not adding any value to it, really. I mean, could depend on the book, but not very many of them would I bother to do that. So 9.6, I can kind of shrug my shoulders. You start giving me 9.4s and 9.2s, it just makes me mad. But they got a lot of new graders, and they're coming back faster, so there's that.
It's fair. At least they're doing it fast if they're going to hose you.
Yeah.
All right, we got pickups. I'm going to start with Paul because Paul's not been here for many weeks and made it a pickup, so I appreciate it.
I just opened a couple packages. Nothing, man. Nothing really worth sharing, to be honest with you.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I might have to go in the other room and dig deeper. Maybe circle back to me. I'll go see.
I'm going to show
else I can
one book.
Dig up.
I'm going to let Dinesh think if he's got anything that he wants to show off.
I got a stack over here of what I got recently.
I'm going to show my one, and then we'll go to
this
you. I just have one. It is
wow, that's awesome.
poor man's ASM 300. This is the French version. I really like this one with the all red. I love the Italian with the all black. This is only my second copy of this one. I don't know why it's not terribly hard to find. It's a square bound, so it tends to have a lot of breakage on the spine here.
Have you physically touched it? Is it like a cardstock, like graphic novel style, or is it?
Yes, it's like graphic novel. So like a lot of them get the real white line where they've opened it. This one's not perfect, but it's nicer than average. So a lot of them will just have that wear line. It's cardstock but thin, so that's probably like a three issue trade. But you put a bold red cover on it, and somebody opens it to read it, it just gets that terrible line. So I don't buy them often, but that was a nicer copy than I've seen in a while.
That's cool.
So, all right, let's get over. We will go to Dinesh. Let's see what treasures you have today.
Okay, so like that. Valiant fan. Really read. I can't stop. Every time I see a copy of this book, I have to buy it. Case in point.
Loaded.
Also, case in point. I promise the whole thing is not just this.
Well,
So-
no. My question is, have you tried to track down the art to that one?
Yeah, the guy ain't selling. He's very happy. I love coverless books. Coverless Submariner first Silver Ray Submariner FF4.
All
He's in
right.
the new Black Panther movie, so trying to grab that before it goes too high. Should be back
All
at
right.
10.
Now,
Nice.
don't know what that book is.
And then
Oh,
look,
wait
foreign.
a second.
Foreign.
Look at you.
Uh-oh.
First Jonah
Holy.
Hex.
Look
Nice.
at you.
Rese do first. I don't know what country this is from. Let's find out.
I think it's Brazil, if I was not mistaken. Is it
Brazil?
the E-ball?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Look at you.
And I realized I cannot read the indicia, so I actually don't know. El Diablo. It's a back cover.
Welcome to the club.
Vinny Kumar, he made me buy this. That's
I
why I
like
have it.
Vinny. Where'd you find it?
He had a buddy that was selling it, and he sent me a text being like, "You got to get into foreigns. You're fucking behind the 8 ball. I know you like Jonah Hex because you're an idiot. No one likes Jonah Hex." So buy
That's
it."
a tough one. That's a tough book, man. They did not they did not love the westerns back then for some reason. So that's not a easy one to find. That looked nice. So
I like the cover. It's a cool cover.
welcome to
See
the
what's
club.
going on.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
gotta
man.
like the little kind of Technicolor at the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just add a little flair.
Looking like
Do that
church
bad,
tile.
Yeah.
Church style.
Well then, welcome. You're now in the community. Let's send that bad boy CGC and see how it does.
Take me off of the spotlight.
I'm gonna send it to Sean.
Thank you.
Oh, what's up? Hi.
You got anything to
only-
show off today?
This isn't exactly a pickup. Yeah, I'll show you.
Is that a
This
polar
isn't
bear
exactly
back
pickup.
there, Sean? What do you have
Yeah,
a
it's
polar bear?
definitely a polar bear. Some people call me a polar bear. So
No, back in your you've got a polar bear back there.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
statue.
yeah. There.
Which way you
You've told that
fucking
story.
mark, man?
That's a polar bear statue. Yeah. He hangs out over
He
there.
has
I
a
gotta fix
nickname
that
of
corner.
it.
That corner looks like shit. No, just because I could reach this, and I just found this in a box, and because Dinesh had coverless, so it's Spidey
Yes,
101.
coverless.
Very
Right?
nice.
And I won
God,
this,
look at that
honestly, I
splash.
won this for, I think, less than $10, probably like 6 or 8 years ago.
That's got to be one of the more recognizable coverless, though.
Yeah.
You'd think, and because it kind of says Monster Called Morbius in pretty big letters up there. Too bad Morbius isn't in this panel, but I guess they got to introduce him somehow. Anyway,
his name's there, though.
I read
that's
a
my
really
own box.
interesting fact about the Morbius movie today. And do you guys hear this?
Yeah.
It is now the
Sure.
highest grossing Marvel Morbius movie.
Again, not.
Oh, I really got you with that one, huh?
I'm just shopping on my friend's whatnots, so nothing great to show off. Just want to. He's usually in here, so I was to these. So shout out to Bird the Nerd. These are just cool covers that I got to get for Gil from his show. When I just sit around and when I click on stuff and stuff's right price, I do it. Our friend Melvin woke up. I woke up one day and Mel is yelling and running live at like 7:30 in the morning. So shout out to Mel, who I didn't win this from me, just a shout out. So these GPK blanks are tough to find. So this is the Gross Encounters of the Turd kind. And I don't know what year. This is maybe 2016 or something, but these GPK blanks are kind of tough. For some reason, I decided I was going to get 5-second prints of Tosin from him, but he ran them all in a lot. And anyway, I got them cheap.
Hey, I did the
Perfect.
same shit, so I don't blame
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, this is cheap. It was like, I don't know, 6 copies. I don't know, $30 or something, whatever. I don't know. He just wanted to dump them. So just basically shout out to Drunken Chat. Shout out to there. And this is another shout out again to our boy Yeezy Yee. Same stuff from him. Just he's running books, and if my friend's books are gonna go cheap, I'm just gonna bid on them. So nothing great here. Here's a Champions variant. Kind of like that. That one definitely. I add the spec to that one. A couple more of the BP5 stuff. Nothing major. I opened those before. Oh, so they had a sale at Midtown. and just to so that we have demons, that Sky Snotter and Greg Capullo book. They're selling autograph copies, and so that's a piece from local cover for that, but signed by Snyder. And these were cover price, I think. And like, there's always good spec, I think. So this is like I don't know, like the foil or something like that. It's not metal, but it's the Capullo cover. And then they even have I pulled them out of the other ones. They have the COAs like inside, but for cover price, you know, the Glapian and Snyder and Capullo stuff. You know they're gonna try to option this stuff, so it's just they're good buys there. Cover price, I still buy these. So this is our first appearance. I think it's a her, right? And then whose name I already forget. And anyway, this getting an expensive book. I never do this. You guys never see me use my eBay as a handle on here, but I'm running like 39.8 slabs. So if you look at Big Sean 13, or if you can look this book up in a 9.8, I'm actually selling it. Running it at $1, and I did get one back from CGC. I don't think I showed it because I was off last week.
Nice.
So I got a Marvel Spotlight 5, the 2.0, but it's a really really pretty 2.0.
Yeah.
So this is actually, and even though I just got it, and that's on the bag. That's not like a crack case or anything. Even though I just got it, because I was happened to run these auctions in May. So if you look up Marvel Spotlight 5 2.0, I think it's at like $300 or something so far on eBay. It ends on Sunday, and you can look through all the other stuff if you feel like it. But that's what's going on. But I bought this off of MCS for $400 or $500 last summer. I think it popped up, and I said, might as well just grab it. Pressed it just to make it flat. You're not gonna, this wear is not going to go anywhere. There's nothing to do with that. But I just thought it was a pretty copy, and I expected it to be. I expected it to be a 2.0, and it was. I bought it. They had it graded at 1.8. It was raw. So anyway, good deal. That's Oh no, wait. I do have these. So when I have people that ask me about cards and comics, and then it basically never works out. So he's like, "I'll bring you my stuff." So I've got some 89 Talks rack packs. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with. This one's got Paul O'Neill and Ozzie Smith. This is the big time one. It's got all-star cards of Ozzie Smith and Wade Boggs.
Oh wow!
The only reason you buy them will be for the recognizable players, not for the Sid Breams, Alex Trevinos. But there is a 88 All-Star McGuire on the front of this one. So I thought that was cool. And then he had another box. He was trying to explain it to me. And it's unfortunately it's 92, just regular 92 Donruss box. I think these are about $30 on eBay. So you have to tell the people, sorry guys, it's really not worth much. But 5,000 personally autographed Cal Ripken cards throughout the 20
billion boxes,
billion that they did. I don't know, not focus. So I told him, I was like, hey man, he's an old retired guy. He's plenty of money. He's not, he just didn't know what he had. And I said, I'll tell you what. How about a cigar, and we open all these fuckers up and try to find a Ripken autograph. I was like, because I don't want to bet, dude. What's if I put someone on eBay, take the money, and give you $20 or something? I mean, you know what I mean? Let's open these fuckers and see how it goes. So anyway, I'm gonna do that. That's all my pickups. Yeah.
All right, before I go to Mercenary, I actually have a random question for Dinesh because he's a Valiant super fan and potentially expert. Do you know about the Deathmate Orange preview?
Yes.
Where'd they all come from all of a sudden?
Previews. Diamond previews.
But how are they getting them out 9.8s? Because there's now 20 9.8s of them.
No, there were versions that were handed out as preview, as kind of like promos.
Truly
separate? They were separate. They were at a Diamond conference.
Well, there were none in the census. All of a sudden one came up. And when I'd seen it about a year ago, it was the only one, and now there's 20. So just maybe money brought them out.
No, I think probably sometimes with these kinds of things, especially like Valiant and indie things, there's some guy sitting out there, and he was part of the process, and he's had it sitting in his garage for 30 years, and suddenly he sends 20 of them into CGC.
Okay,
that's my guess is what's happening. But nobody cares. Why do you care?
It's just one of those things that hit me. It sold for a lot of money at one point. And I was like, where did it come from? Because I saw the preview. You can't get them out.
Yeah, it's hard to get them out.
They are glued. I think
the same issue of previews has a Warriors of Plasm
Yes,
Zero preview as well.
it does. It's
That's
just one of
the
those oddities that you're like, where did the unbound ones come from?
Diamond.
So. All right. Is Carter gone?
Oh, sorry.
All
Sorry.
right. Let's give Carter his
I
time to
did that
shine.
when I was off screen too.
So I picked this up this week.
Oh, look at you.
We got
That's awesome.
Transformers Thrust. And what was funny about this was I saw there was a Facebook post however many weeks ago, and I figured, okay, it's going to be bought already. And then a week later, they posted the same picture of this, and I'm like, how is this possible? How has nobody bought this? I would say the only thing is the tape on this kind of dried. So, but everything is sealed. This thing untouched by man for what, 35 plus years. So it's still sealed in the card, and the instructions are still taped to the back of the card here. So a lot of people, like on the Facebook post, they were like, oh man, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna buy that, and like all that tough talk, and nobody pulled the trigger. So I find and then a week later after that, I see the Facebook post where it's still at the store. I'm like, okay, we're going. I made a beeline to the store, picked it up, and got this for what, like $500 or something like that. So I thought, to me, this was more than worth it. So Transformers, Decepticon, Thrust, still sealed.
That's badass, dude.
Oh.
Your toy knowledge is impressive. I didn't know you were so well versed.
80s toys. 80s toys, nothing else. I went to a toy show a couple of weeks ago, and in my head, I'm thinking cool 80s stuff, but in everybody else's heads, it's all pops. You know what I mean? So, I love you. Okay, what's next? Oh, I'll tell you what. Dinesh, well, can you speak on this a little bit? This is
Sean Chen. That's the Sean Chen variant. So 125.
How many copies did you print of this?
I can look it up. Hold on, give me 2 minutes, and I will find it in my inbox.
It's got Mel's girl on there, dude.
This is legit. This is legitimately my favorite cover of probably.
Great cover.
I'll say top five favorites, just because it's just a great little update, nice little modern update to the original. You know, just ever so slightly, but yeah. This was a This was a bitch to find, though.
Yeah, sorry, man. Again, it's these fans, man. They
don't come out.
Once they get them, they don't want to sell them.
It's funny because I've had two of them, and I sold one long time ago. But this one is sticking around, though. Definitely.
I'm trying to find it for you. I will find it.
Yeah, for sure.
I know one of those Valiant guys that doesn't sell any of it, and you're like.
And honestly, all these years, I don't have any idea how I didn't notice with that Harbinger cover, which is one of the most recognizable comic covers there, that it was a Mustang somehow.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple Mustangs. Like I like Mustangs. So I'm like, I have one now.
It is a Mustang indeed. Okay, I've got the number for you. Here it is.
Yes.
We did 1, 2, 3, 5 covers on this book. We did an A cover with Miko Stolian that sold 16,000 copies. We did a B cover with Jenny Frison, about 13,000 copies. We did a 1 in 10 variant by Kinsley that was 1,500 copies. We did a 1 in 25 Sean Chen variant, 600 copies, and a Barry Kitson 1 in 50 that's 500 copies.
Woo! That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, and speaking of more Valiant, this is something I found for about $5.
Cool.
A little while ago. So we have Unity 2000, and this is the full comic. I know that back in the day, it was it was printed. It was just the cover. That was it. No guts or anything like that. And it's a DF exclusive.
Oh, that's awesome!
Nice.
I didn't even know that existed. What's
Yes.
it say it's
With
out
the
of?
seal.
Does it have a run on it?
Okay. Unity 2000 Dynamic Forces. It does not have.
Is it signed or anything, or it's just an exclusive cover?
No, it's just a certificate. Oh, sorry. I don't know.
That's awesome. Ultimate
Well, at least
cover.
1,700
Yeah,
of them.
2,000 copies.
2,000 copies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That's
So I
that's
had
very cool,
number
man.
1702, but yeah, this is cool as hell. So when I saw this, I jumped all over it. Love it.
Nice, man.
And let's see. I did some dollar bin digging. I can't believe I found this for $1. So Superman
Oh,
Batman
wow.
Annual number 4.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Got that?
Love the
Yeah.
art term.
Mars Attacks. This was $5, and I don't know anything about it. It's from IDW. Probably I want to say maybe 5-6 years ago. I believe this is a Wally Wood cover.
That was Wally Wood?
Yeah,
Wood.
but it's like remastered art.
Okay.
Oh, you mean an homage? All right.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with this, but I saw it.
The only one from that run I have is the Frazetta homage from Weird Science Fantasy 2029.
Okay, the only one that I see up on eBay, they want like 150, but of course nobody's buying it. But I figure for $5, I'll pick that up.
So there's some people pretty dedicated to that fandom.
Oh, here's a really amazing cover. So this is a Dave Stevens cover. I believe this is his last cover before this was posthumously printed, but this is his last cover. Bad Planet number 6.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And I'll tell you what, let's talk about this. So I found multiple copies of Cartoon Network Block Party number 1. So apparently this is the first appearance of a bunch of characters, with the exception of Johnny Bravo, but first appearance of Ed, and Eddie, and maybe some other characters. But the print run on this was, I think, around 4,000. And then you got to factor in probably half of those, just like with newsstand comics, were just given to kids and completely destroyed. So to come across, decent high grade copies of a really low grade kids book like this, okay, all right.
Yeah. What year is that?
This is, I want to say, 2000. 2004.
Okay.
2004. And last and not least, we have a copy of Wizard number 157. Found this for $1.
Very nice.
And beautiful Joe Quesada cover swipe of Hulk, Hulk 340.
Yeah.
And
that was a comic.
That's cool.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And like this image isn't anywhere else. It's just on this. And it's still sealed. So
For as many swipes of it there are, that's one of the better ones.
yeah, and it's on a freaking Wizard.
Casada's the man, dude.
All right, Paul, did you find anything?
No, I mean nothing noteworthy,
All
man.
right.
I'm just a poser.
Paul's problems, baby.
It's all right. Paul's problem.
Yeah.
So
Jesus fucking Christ, Paul! You had two jobs. All right. How about your other job? Did you come up with a title for our movie yet?
Ninja Love, something, I don't know.
Oh,
Polite but deadly.
It's pretty good.
Ninja
There might
Love.
not have ever been a Ninja Love. We'll give you that.
There you go.
Chris Love maybe new. Might inspire an idea. But it did give you the resin hot dog.
I love that. I literally
gotta
have
leave-
an entire thread with my bad idea guys. Talking about how great that is.
Yeah, that's my
Might happen.
that's what I do. I gain brownie points, but by the end of the meeting, I end up exactly where I was, if not slightly negative.
The rest of your life, Dennis Barger's gonna be posting on any podcast you're at. You fucking came up with the resin hot dog. You mother.
You gave it away for free. know where to find me.
Oh.
You know where to
All
find
right,
me
so-
for more ideas. It's all good.
At Paul's_problems. I do
Yeah,
want to find you.
There you go. I'm on IG everywhere.
Oh God. So
Actually,
No.
I have a Paul's problem story that goes about
All right,
the
go
bounty
for it.
points.
Yeah.
Come on,
There we
Bubby.
go.
Let's
There we
move
go.
on.
So
Let's
I
go.
work in the medical field, and I met the surgeon for the first time. And
Somehow.
somehow, right? So anyway, he was like, "Yeah, why don't you?" Because it was early in the morning. He's like, "Why don't you come up to my office? We'll have some breakfast." He like had cereal and whatever in his office all the time. So we're just shooting the breeze, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "Oh, are these your grandkids?" He's like, "No, those are my kids." I was like, "Oh, well, there, all my brownie points out the window." Because he got remarried to this younger woman, and blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh, well, you're not a grandpa, you're just a dad." Got it. My bad. So
nice work.
Paul's the kind
resin,
of guy that
or resin
Pat's a
foot
big-
in mouth. Resin foot
Paul's
in
the kind
mouth
of guy
woman.
that pats a big girl's stomach and says congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. From behind, I kind of, without even no permission, just congratulations.
All right. I would like to thank Dinesh again. It was
Thank
a
you, guys.
pleasure. Always fun. Sorry you had to
Blast.
listen to Paul and come up with some terrible things
No,
that
that's awesome.
may be seen in the future. We
Didn't even
appreciate you
take a pickup.
chatting. As the audience,
Yeah.
thank you all. Please like, subscribe. And
Thanks,
I
guys.
promise Dino will be back and hopefully Nico next week. Thank you all.
Bye, guys.